Hello dear students, welcome to Chaitanya, India's largest online platform for the exam preparation. So today it's a very important session. Myself Neeraj Agnihotri, your physics NEET mentor. So what we are to talk about, we are heading towards a very good deal for us, that is our SCORE exam, which is India's largest scholarship exam. Worthing, you will be getting 2.5 crore as the cash rewards, then 350 crore as the scholarship, NASA trips, exciting gadgets, and as well as up to 100% scholarship to sit and to compete with the India's topmost brains, which have already enrolled, and they are just don't want to miss this opportunity to sit with the competitors so that we can have a better future for us, whatever we planned for us. Am I right? So this is first, what you can say, the step for you towards your success. So don't forget to enroll in this exam. Now register now, it's very important. And in the previous sessions also, we have discussed in the previous session, we had taken 25 most you can say the recommendable questions which a NEET aspirant has to do, or you could say the one who really want to understand the physics. I have taken all 25 questions which were very fundamental. Normally NEET students usually avoid those questions, so I took it intentionally because as per the pattern of 2025, I thought of that I should say and discuss it with my students, especially the one who are appearing for the SCORE. Those previous session questions will be very helpful for you all. Now, in this, again, the same pattern I am discussing it to you now. You may take a screenshot, still enough days, not that in that way, but still we are having enough days, we can get each and everything which we are just expecting from ourselves, and Sri Chaitanya will help you to attain that. See, the pattern and the questions are there. You may take a screenshot of it if you are just new to this channel. And don't forget to register for this extreme exam. It will be very a game changer for you. I tell you, it is a game changer for you. Exam dates are 28th of September and 12th of October. Yes. So, in this session, what we are to discuss? We are to discuss our NEET physics questions in the SCORE PYQs. Now this is a very important session. You will be finding these questions, I can say very easy, but with that too, I will be discussing some very basic concepts relevant to that, so that it will help you to understand this, like the concepts and the variations, whichever required for us. Am I right? Now I tell you, right now the concepts which we are more focusing on are mechanics. And in this concept of mechanics, we have focused on calculus, whatever is required. So in the SCORE PYQs, you can see the pattern which you have obtained in 2025, same relevancy was there in our SCORE exam. So I have taken few of the questions where it will give you some calculus, some very fundamental, but you may think of, sir, it is very high level, but it is not a high level, it is just a fundamental. So today we will be discussing those concepts. So you have to have your copy and pen with you so that you don't miss out a single word which we are supposed to discuss right now. I think now everybody is aware of, we all are very eager to get into this session, and where we will be discussing the physics SCORE PYQs. Now, I hope you have done your studies now. Can you see this on the screen? So, what we can see there, that the thoughts which we have discussed earlier, and whatever the thought concepts we have discussed, that we will be just now discussing that too. See, am I audible to everyone? Am I audible to everyone? Okay. Now, let's start the questions. See, First question. Now, this first question, like, as we know, we have to see the agenda. What is the agenda for today? So first question there comes in first agenda. What is the agenda for this session? Why this score PYQ matter? Same, in order to get 2.5 crores, in order to get the scholarships, in order to get the NASA trips, in order to get to the up to the 100% scholarship, am I right? And many more support, whatever. And out of this, the best ever content required to crack any exam, that is the score. So topic is, so in this, I have taken the questions randomly. It may be in the flow with the kinematics, like motion in a straight line, projectile or something like that. So you'll get a mix of questions. So you have to just to flip from one topic to other instantaneously. The time we move on to the next game. So we will be having the live problem solving right now, solution and discussion of the shortcuts if any required. So definitely today I will be discussing few of the shortcuts to you, so that the things which appears very difficult, it will appear to be to you very, very easy. Now see what is in there. So this is high impact formula drill also, no doubt. I will be giving you one of the formula which is, when you will be solving all that stuff, then you will be finding it, that has helped you to get into the concepts in a strong way. But I tell you one thing, before this session we start, you must remember, beta, you have to see the previous session in which 25 questions and duration of that session was around about 2 hours. So in that, I have tried my level best for you all, that you should go with that session, make the notes and try to solve. And if you are finding any problem, you can approach us and you can drop a comment and drop whatever you want to discuss with us. No problem with that too. Okay. So recap and assignment, that's very obvious. We'll be recapitulate the concepts, whatever we have discussed, whatever is required, whatever is necessary for us. And some assignment, if required, it will be shared to you. And definitely you will be getting, but you have to enroll yourself for the score exam. See, so this was the agenda of the session. Now there comes what we are discussing. We are discussing the basic concepts of the mechanics, which we'll be discussing now. And in that, we will see how this, how to approach for the numericals. Am I right? So definitely I have picked some MCQs where we will be using some mathematical or numerical techniques to understand, to visualize the concept. And next is the calculus method. So wherever integration will be applied, I will tell you when you are integrating these things, how to take the the limits, initial limit and the final limit. Am I right? And then we have the graphical method. So if some graph, you will be seeing this today also, that graphs will be there, and in those graphs we will be solving the question. And you will see, when we will discuss these questions, you will say, yeah, that was very easy question, that was not very difficult. Am I right? But only thing you should be aware of, you should have your copy and pen, so that we can understand the things right away in the session. Previous session, this session. And don't forget to like, comment and share. Okay? Done. So, this is our first question, which is our score dip 1. This is our very first question, but score dip 1. So what this first question says? First question says, engine of a train that is moving with a uniform acceleration, you may say it is A, and it passes a pole with a speed U, while the last compartment passes this pole with a speed V, and the middle point we are to see what is the speed of the middle point. I think you can answer it very quickly because it is written on there. It is option number D. Now let's go for it. How this option is coming? See, we are having a train like this. This is the engine, and you may say this is the rear side of the train. Am I right? And there we have marked a pole. This is the pole. So what we are saying, that when engine has moved, the engine velocity was what, beta? U. And no doubt it was accelerated. Am I right? Now, when this middle point has reached, then its velocity you call it as Vm, am I right? And the engine has moved up to there. So right now we are focusing on the pole and the points we have marked. First for the engine, speed was u, then middle point has reached. So now the middle point velocity has become what? Vm. And after that, when rear side of the train has passed, so train has passed like this, am I right? And the rear side has passed beta. So what is the speed we are expecting for it? It is the v, am I right? Now see, this distance is x, this distance you consider it as x. I think idea is very clear. This distance is x, this distance is also what x, am I right? So since it is given to you that it is moving with a uniform acceleration, so what do we do for it? We will write the formula for these two. Distance covered is what, x. So I can write Vm square is equal to what, u square plus what? 2ax. Vm square is equal to what? U square plus what? 2ax. Am I right? And when you are writing for this whole train which has passed through this pole, total distance, how much? 2x. So total distance passed is what? 2x. I am saying it is at 2x. So what formula we can use for it? We can use the formula v square is equal to what, Vm square plus 2 into a into what? 2x. I hope you have understood this idea now. Am I right? What was that? First engine passed u. It's not like it's having u. It means this train was having whole speed as u. Not like engine is having u and other parts are having different speed. Every part is linked. So every part is having the same speed as the whole train is having the same speed. But when u has happened from the pole, now engine has moved since it has been accelerated. So when middle point has reached, what is the velocity of the whole train? It becomes Vm. Am I right? The whole train has now is instant. In this instant, we are expecting that the speed of this whole train is what? Vm. And after that, what has happened? The train has moved, rear side has moved up to the pole, and the speed attained by the train at this instant is what? V. So we are using very famous formula, v square is equal to what? U square plus what, 2ax. And v square is equal to, sorry, I have to write this wording for, because I have taken 2x now, so I have to take it as u square, right? So what we can do for it, I will be writing this equation, v square is equal to u square plus 2a into 2x. So help me put the value 2ax here. So what I am getting? Can you answer this? What you are getting? 2ax becomes Vm square minus u square. So I am writing it as here. V square is equal to what, u square plus 2ax or 2ax. So this become what? Vm square minus u square. So that you can write Vm square minus u square, but you have to multiply it with the 2. You have to multiply it with the what? 2. You have to multiply it with the 2. Okay. So what we are writing for it, we are writing v square is equal to u square plus 2 Vm square minus 2u square. So if you write u square minus 2u square is minus u square, getting onto this side, getting plus u square. So this become v square plus u square, am I right? And v square plus u square, and you divide it by 2, this is equal to what? Vm square, so you take the square root of it. So we are getting this, our first result, this wording. Square root of what? V square plus u square by 2. So this is the very first answer which we got for our score PYQ dip. I think idea is very clear. Idea is very clear to you. Understood, I think. It's very simple. It was very simple idea. Train was moving, engine was there, engine speed was u. When middle point has reached here, its speed become v. And it is not like u is the speed of engine only, it is the speed of the full train. Am I right? And when middle point has reached, its speed has become Vm, and when the rear side has reached, the speed has become V. How much distance we considered, how much length for the engine to the rear side? 2x. X from the middle to engine and from middle to the rear also x. So we used famous formula Vm square is equal to U square plus 2ax, and V square is equal to U square plus 2a into 2x. So then I put the value of 2ax as what? Vm square minus U square. Here I solved and I got the value Vm is equal to square root of what? Square root of what? V square plus U square by 2. That is our answer. Okay? See. Now this was the question. Now you see, it was not a difficult question, but the concept which we should carry is what? It is not the train only, the engine only speed is having u, because whole train is moving. The whole train is having a same speed, which is u for every compartment. Are you getting? But when they are moving with the due time, then what happens? Every compartment is getting accelerated, and they are since connected, so every compartment will be having the same velocity at that particular instant. It is not like one compartment is having different velocity, other compartment is having different velocity. Never happens. It is same for all tires, 2 tires, sleeper, every train. Okay. So now next. Now this is a very good question. Students usually see that how to solve this question now. See, raindrops are falling downward vertically at 4 km/h. And for a person moving forward, like that way is moving, it is 3 km/h. And rain, what does this rain appears to fall? How does the rain appears to fall onto the man? Am I right? Now, how to solve this question? Listen, very carefully, very simple. See, in this question, you just draw a bit, then you will understand. See, rain is falling vertically down, no doubt about it. Man was running like this. Man was running like this. Am I right? That is true. It means, if I draw here, a man is standing here. When man is standing here, rain was falling like this. It was, beta what? VR. So VR was vertical. Now man has started the running. Man has started the running. So when man has started the running with the speed Vm, so rain appears to fall like this. With the speed what? VRM. Am I right? So that's why I have opted this diagram that rain was falling like this, so I have drawn this arrow. Man was running like this, so I have drawn that arrow. But VRM is called relative speed of the rain with respect to man. Then what should we do? Because we need this as a resultant, and we do know that beta, note down on your copy beta, VRMS is like VR plus what beta? It is Vm. VR plus what? The Vm. That is the value. So it is the resultant which is made up of VR and Vm. So you can see here, if you take Vm this side, and definitely minus of Vm here only. Am I right? Now you will say, sir, why we have taken this? Because VRM is called relative velocity of rain with respect to man. So man is our observer in this case. So in this question, we were having two vectors, VR and Vm. I made some change in Vm to make it 0. Why it is made 0? Because M is our observer. So we are making this to be at rest, man. So I have to draw Vm here and Vm here, and there I got the resultant, which is termed as VRM. Now you can see this was the VRM. You can see the arrows of VRM in this and this diagram are similar, same arrows. And this angle you call it as phi. This angle you call it as the phi. So what we are expecting for it, that this is the resultant and this is something like minus Vm. So I think you have understood this idea, but VRM, you are getting VR minus of Vm. VR minus of what? Vm. So the angle between Vm and VR is 90 degree, but arrow must be there only. Am I right? Arrow must be there only. It shouldn't be here. Okay, because it's a perfect triangle we are drawing. That's why. And when you are writing its magnitude, so VRM magnitude is square root of VR square plus what beta? Vm square. Am I right? So I think now it is very clear to you. This was the value of Vr, which was 4. This was the value for the Vm, which was 3. If you put the values, what we are getting today? We are getting 4 square plus what today? 3 square. So what we are getting? 25. 25 square root is what? 5. So your answer becomes 5 for this case. I hope you have understood this idea. I hope you have understood this idea. So this was the explanation for this question where we were having the raindrops falling. Okay. Now next question. Now let me tell you something like, in this idea also, if man is standing here, and rain is falling vertically down, if we run in this direction, then the rain which man will face inclination like that. Okay. And if he runs in this direction, if this man runs in this direction, then rain will appear to fall like this. Am I right? Because this was the direction of VR and this is the direction of VRM. So I have written just for your convenience first point, and I want to share because most of the students, they don't expect this point basically. What is that? That if rain is already slanting, here the rain was already vertical, but here already the rain is slanting. When the rain is already slanting, then what happens? You may call this angle as phi naught and this angle as what? VR. Am I right? And the point there comes, if man runs in this direction, then rain will appear more slanting, which will fall at an angle theta, which will be greater than phi naught. But if he runs in this direction, so we consider a one velocity when this was the falling rain direction. When he run in this direction, so this rain appear first to be vertical, and if he runs with a speed Vm naught, and if he runs with a speed more than the previous one, which you call Vm, which is greater than Vm naught, now rain appears to be slanting in the forward direction. You may call this angle as alpha. Means these are the two cases, rather this is the first case when rain is already vertically falling, and this is another case where the rain is falling already slanting. But if he runs in this direction, slantness will increase. If he runs in this direction with speed some Vm naught, first it will be perpendicular, and after that if he runs very fast, then it appears to be slanting in this direction. So this is the general case which is usually asked, and I predict that this type of variation will be definitely asked, either for this, but not with the simple question where the rain was falling vertically down and we were running like anything. Am I right? Okay. So question dip number 3. What is the dip number 3? Dip number 3 says a particle is moving with a momentum p and it is acted upon by 4 forces, which are shown by the vectors like this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have shown the arrows like this. That is shown to you. Shown to you like this, the arrows. Am I right? So you can see they are forming a closed triangle. They are forming a what you can say, closed parallelogram, or you can say this is a closed square if their magnitudes are equal, or whatever you can say, but they are forming a closed structure. Now what is more important for me to understand? It is forming a closed structure, and we know when we are having a closed structure for any vector addition, so we are writing for a closed structure with a PQ, QS, SR and RP. It is a closed structure, so its closed structure value for the vector sum is coming out to be what? 0. It coming out to be what? 0, because it is a closed structure. Because when we are talking about, yes, Manuva, what is simply the mention that boat velocity means? Okay, I got your point. Okay, I tell you, when you are saying velocity, it means what? I tell you, when you are talking about the boat, just getting into that point because someone has asked this point, so let's be a part of that. When boat is moving, then boat is doing boat is being observed from 2 points. One, when you are sitting inside the boat. One, when someone is sitting outside the boat, which is on the ground. So usually what we consider for the boat velocity, it is always the velocity of the boat with respect to the water, which we generally consider. Are you getting my point? When we are sitting in the boat, how much effort we are putting with the boat? That is the effort which is made with respect to the still water, because engine of the boat has to do its own work. But what we observe from the ground, that is the velocity of boat with respect to the ground. And when you are sitting inside the boat, then you are putting the effort of the boat with respect to the water. I hope you have understood this idea. Done. Now, so there, let's get back to the question again. Okay. So what was that? PQ plus QS plus SR plus RP. So they form a closed, thank you beta, thank you. So PQ plus QS plus SR plus RP is equal to what? The 0. So they are forming a closed triangle, am I right? Sorry, closed polygon, or you can say the closed square, rectangle, parallelogram, anything you want to. But one thing very important, in physics, whenever you are finding a closed triangles or closed polygons, it means for them vector sum is always 0. So here in this case, we are talking about the momentum, and it is acted upon by the 4 forces which are given to you. There it looks like it's a square, but it could be of any shape, but closed. So their vector sum comes out to be beta what? It comes out to be what? 0. When it comes out to be 0, so what do we say when it comes out to be 0? We say the resultant is 0. If resultant is 0, it means the forces vector sum is 0. So when force is 0, it means momentum dp by dt is also beta what? 0. I'm just writing in that way. dp by dt is what? 0. So it means momentum is constant. So what is the answer we are predicting for it? A particle is moving with the momentum acted upon by the 4 forces. They are shown as a rectangle here, PQRS, but I generalized you that you may take any structure, but it should be closed. If it is closed, it should be closed, and rectangle is PQRS, and the momentum of the particle will be, so we say it changes in direction but constant in magnitude, increases, decreases, remains same. So what do you predict for this answer? Answer is remains same. Why remains same? Why remains same? Because net sum of the force is 0. Because net sum of the force is what? 0. Net sum is 0. Momentum is net sum of the forces is what? 0. If vector sum of the forces is 0, then momentum is what? Beta conserved. Conserved means what? It is not going to change. So your answer for this question becomes it remains the same. C option is marked. So C is the answer. I think idea is very clear. I think idea is very clear. Done. Next point. So just want to share this thought as someone has asked. This is there. Boat is there. Boats tend to cross this river. This boat speed is called as VB river, and river was flowing like this, and someone is sitting here. Am I right? So when someone sitting on the ground will see boat was putting the effort with respect to river in this direction, so boat has moved in this direction. So this observation is observed by this observer, which is on the ground. Done? Done. See, now this question. A particle is moving in a vertical circle with a tension in the string when passing through the two positions at an angle 30 and 60 degree with a lower vertical are T1 and T2 respectively. So let me tell you what do we predict for it. See, as everybody is aware of it, when you draw a vertical circular motion, then at this point, what do we have? Tension is acting here, mg is acting here, am I right? And this vertical angle is what beta? Theta. So this angle is also what beta? Theta. So at this point its velocity is something like v, and this become what beta? mg cos theta, mg cos theta. So what do we write? T minus mg cos theta is equal to what? mv square by r. You call this length of the string as r. You call the length of the string as r. So tension, when you talk about the tension at this point, it comes out to be mv square by r plus what? mg cos theta. mg cos theta. Now listen to this thing. Question was asked, what do you predict for 30 degree and 60 degree? Just like everybody is aware of the theoretical class, so I just want to make how to attempt this question. We are aware of that lowest point velocity is always maximum. When we get into the height, velocity reduces. So at any other point, its velocity will be less. First point. Second point, if theta is increasing, then there is cos component. So if you increase theta, that is 30 degree, cos 30 is greater than cos 60. Cos 30 is greater than cos 60. So what do we say? This term for cos 60, if you write, it will be smaller than cos 30. Are you getting my point? So overall, if I predict the answer, so T1, tension at 30 degree will be more than tension at 2. Why I am saying again? See, I have drawn this circle. This is what we have drawn. Am I right? And I have drawn this point also. Let me call this angle as 30. Let me call this angle as 60. There I am having tension T1. There I am having tension T2. So when I am writing for T1, so I will be writing T1 is equal to, just written, mv square by r plus mg cos theta. So I am writing mv square by r plus mg. One thing is cos 30 and T2 as m. You call this as 1 point, this as 2 points. So you should write mv1 square and this is mv2 square by r plus what beta? mg cos 60. Now you can see I have told you this thing already right now. Cos 30 is greater than cos 60. Since at the lowest point we have the maximum sort of velocity, and when you go up, then velocity is going to decrease. So from this prediction also, and why it is decreasing? Because gravity is acting in the downward direction and it is having some tangential retardation also, which is g sin theta. And due to this also, g sin theta has a tangential acceleration, it is also what? Decreasing speed. So V1 we have predicted is also greater than V2. So you have seen these terms on the for T1 is greater than the terms on the right hand side, which is what? T2. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. Now, this was the question, which was very, very simple. We have not discussed. So we have not discussed this in very detail, though we have discussed a part of it which is very, very important to understand the concept. Am I right? Now see this question. There comes this question. What is this question? Question says, a bomb moving on a parabolic path explodes into two fragments. So whenever the explosion of bomb is asked or said, it means whatever the explosion has happened, it is because of the internal forces only. And internal forces never change the momentum of the system. Am I right? It is always what? Conserved. But can you answer me, how about the kinetic energy? Will it increase or decrease after the explosion? Will it increase or decrease after the explosion? So this is just an exercise for you. You just answer by your own. Now for the question, a bomb having a parabolic path, it explodes somewhere in the air into two fragments of equal masses. Then he said, what do you predict the acceleration for the center of mass of the fragments? What do you predict? So see, when you have thrown the bomb, it was falling under the gravity, which is a free, what you call the projectile. So when it get exploded somewhere, it exploded because of internal forces only. So wherever it has fallen means the fragments may have fallen anywhere, but the fragments are still falling under the effect of gravity alone. And I just want to make you aware of this idea today. When you are writing the acceleration of anything like center of mass, just telling you that was M1A1 plus what? M2A2 by what? M1 plus M2. And first answer, when bomb was thrown, it was having gravity, and when two fragments of equal masses, this one is M1, this one is M2, both are equal also, bete. So you can write M, and both are under effect of gravity, so you may write Mg plus Mg by what? 2M. You took bomb mass as 2M, am I right? So what we are writing again? 2mg by G, so we are getting the same answer as what? The G. So that is our answer, G only. Yes. So the option here is G. Yes. So next point we see. Can you get me this answer now? How about this answer? There are 6 forces. They are lying in the plane and forming an angle of 60 degree. Am I right? Forming an angle of what? 60 degree. And relative to another, they are applied to the center of the homogeneous sphere with a mass of 6 kg. And the forces, they are radially outward and consecutively 1 Newton, 2 Newton, 3 Newton, 5, 6, and acceleration to be calculated. So just want the forces, he said, they are radially outward. Now see, what does it mean? Radially outward. Radially outward, what does it mean? See, this is there, one force is there, beta. Then he said in the question that forces are forming at an angle of 60 degrees. So I have to make the forces which are acting like this, am I right? And the angle, relative angle between them is what? The 60 degree. So just let me write very quickly now. This was 1, this was 2, this was 3. No doubt, beta, I have to draw the arrows. So I'm just marking it like that only so that we can understand. 5 and 6. So what we are writing for it? See, this one is 4, this one is 1, opposite. So there I will be getting 3. This one is 2, this one is 5. So I am getting this direction as 3. And this one is 3, this one is 6. So I am getting in this direction resultant as 3. Is it clear? So we are getting 3 forces. So this angle is what? 30. Sorry. This angle is what? 60. This angle is also what, beta? 60. So I just want either you take the resolution or you take the resultant formula. So I think if in order to solve this, we know the angles and magnitude, we may write direct formula. The resultant of 3 vectors like a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta plus 2 bc cos theta plus 2 is ca cos theta. So I'll be using that only. So what will write, beta? 3 square plus 3 square like a square plus b square plus c square plus 2ab cos theta. Theta is here 60. So I can write 2 times. Then what? 3 into 3, 3 square into cos 120 or cos 60 as 1 by 2. Then again 2 into 3 square plus into 120 plus what, beta? 2 into 3 square into cos minus cos 120, which is minus 1 by 2. This one is 60. So one pair of this, one pair of this. So one pair of 3 and 30, which is angle is 120. And cos 120 is what, beta? Minus 1 by 2. So you can see this term get cancelled with this term. This is 2. So what we are getting for R? We are getting R for 3 square 9, 9, 9, 9. So we are getting R as what? 6 Newton, beta. We are getting R as what, beta? 6 Newton. Am I right? R is getting what? 6 Newton. So what was the mass given to you? 6 kg. Resultant you got 6 Newton. Mass you got 6 kg. And what acceleration you are predicting now? Force by mass as what, beta? 1 meter per second square. So your option for this question is what? The C. Its option is what? C. I think idea is very clear, beta. Any doubt in it? I think idea is very clear to everyone now. Done. Next point. Now, there comes one more question, and this question says, a bullet strikes a wooden block resting on a frictionless horizontal surface and stops in it. Later, the combined system moves. Done. And in this case, what has happened? So, it's very simple thing to discuss. This was the block. This was the bullet. which has moved and it is going to hit that. Am I right? What happened? The bullet gets struck in it. The bullet gets struck in it. Am I right? And when the bullet gets struck in it, what has happened to it? They have started moving or something like that is given to us. Am I right? So bullet strikes a wooden block resting on a frictionless. So this was having no friction with it. It was having zero friction. Am I right? And stops in it. So it hit. Then after getting struck, embedded in it, it gets struck. Now this has started the motion. And since it is a frictionless motion, a frictionless surface, so it kept on moving. So what we are expecting from this question, beta? He said, what do you predict for kinetic energy? Is it conserved? Is it conserved? Yes, beta. Is it conserved? It is not conserved. Why? Because sort of inelastic collision has happened. Why? Because it has hit it and somewhere it gets struck, it has lost some motion of it. Am I right? So you can say the kinetic energy is not conserved here. So momentum, since we fired, that was a, like, you know, the firing a gun is a concept of what, the, like, you know, the we apply the conservation of momentum. Then what happened after that? When bullet is going to hit this block, so it is just an internal process, like what? Block is giving impulse to the bullet in the backward, bullet is giving the impulse to the block in the forward. So net impulses, net forces, internal, they are getting cancelled, impulsive forces are getting cancelled, and finally the vector sum we are talking about, we can conserve the momentum only. So in this case, we can conserve the momentum only. So we are expecting our answer as D. I think idea is very clear. Okay, nice. Very good. See, very good. Okay, so next we are showing there, next point today. See, now see this question. What is there in this question now? Question says, a hollow sphere is held suspended. So this was a hollow sphere which was beta suspended somewhere. Am I right? And when it is said hollow sphere, it means it is having its center of mass here only. Am I right? Very simple. Okay. So what do we say? Now the sand is poured in it. So we are pouring the sand in it. What is happening? First, sand will reach here. So the time you pour the sand, then mass which was initially uniform and was at center, now it has got to down, and the center of mass has been shifted to the down. Center of mass has been shifted to the down. Am I right? When center of mass has been shifted to the down, so as you keep on pouring the sound, what is happening? The center of mass is being shifted. Center of mass is being shifted. So what do we say? Is the center of mass of the sphere remains changed? Is changing or not? Yes, it is changing, because when it was hollow, center of mass was at the center. When we are pouring the sand in it, then the sand is getting into it, and the sand level is also increasing, and if we fully filled it, then what has happened? First center of mass has shifted down, and then center of mass has been shifted back to the original configuration again. So you can first you can say it will first it will fall, then rises, then to the final position. That you can say. Why? Because when empty, center of mass here, pouring the sand up to lower half, center of mass is here. When you are adding more mass to it, center of mass is what? Shifting. When it is fully filled, center of mass is now at this center position. So it has first it has lowered, then it is getting back to there. Am I right? So just want for your point to be there, when it is half filled, where does the center of mass is lying? Here. When it is up to there, where the center of mass is lying for this journey? Here. So when it is fully filled, center of mass will lie at the center only. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. Yes? Yes, beta. It is option number C. First falls, then rises. Okay, I just want to make one question for you, beta. Can't we say this option? Can't we say this option? First rises, then lowered, then it is lowered. Is it happened like first rises, because initially it was 0, first falls, then rises above the center, then get back to the center. Will it happen like that? Will it happen like that? No, it will not happen. Just discuss. If it is half filled, center of mass lying here. When it is there, center of mass is bit raised. When it is fully filled, only then center of mass will reach at the center. So what we can say? Lowered, then it is getting up. So question number, dip number 9 beta. 9 dip. Let's solve this. It is a very famous thought which is usually discussed in the class, in the theory classes. Now let's do that. What is that? A car is negotiating a curved road of radius r and the road is banked at an angle theta. The coefficient of friction between the tires of the car and the road is mu s. So what is the maximum safe velocity on this rod that it can be crossed? So how to solve this question? See, I just want to tell you, because everybody is aware of this formula is very fundamental, square root of gr mu s plus tan theta 1 minus mu s by tan theta. So in this question, I will be telling you what is the fundamental we have used here. Now you can, that I will give you the exercise, you should solve by your own. Okay, see. This is the curve and this is the banked road. Am I right? This is the banked road and we are drawing a vehicle here. Am I right? And you may consider the radius as r. And this is moving along because banking means raising the upper edge. So it is moving like that way. So this is there. So what I want to share it to you, that if this angle was theta, mg was happening in this direction, and if I sit inside the car, I can apply mv square by r as the centrifugal force if observer is sitting inside it. Am I right? If observer is sitting inside it. Now what happens in this case is, okay, now tell me one thing, that if you are having this structure which is rough, is it any possibility there where no friction is acting? Are you getting my point? Are you getting my question now? We are having a vehicle which is taking curved on a banked road, which is a rough road. Is it possible to have zero friction in that case? So I am telling you that crisp point right now in this. Okay, listen. So what we can do with it, we will say this is there. This angle is what we do? Theta. In this direction, it will be mg sine theta. And in this direction, if you take this theta, this is also what? Theta. So this become what? mv square by r cos theta. Now listen this thing very carefully. As I just told you, this was the rough surface. In this case, on the rough surface, we are predicting friction to be zero. Are we predicting it? That is the point. So the point there comes, are we predicting it? Answer is yes, we can predict, but we have to meet some condition. What is that? The condition is the mg sine theta, if mg sine theta and beta mv square by r cos theta, they are equal, then you can say when you are taking the curve on the banked road which is rough, the friction is zero. But the condition is what? If they are equal. If they are equal, m get cancelled with m. So what we are getting for v square? Rg tan theta. So if this condition is met, then even on the rough surface, on the banked road, we are not expecting the friction. And under what conditions we can expect? Now this was the first case, but second case. Now if you will say, sir, I want to consider that mg sine theta is greater than mv square by r cos theta. So what will happen? So it is very simple, but mg sine theta is acting in this direction, mv square by r cos theta is acting in this direction, and you said this force is more, and friction always tend to oppose the friction always tend to oppose the motion. So we will be predicting the friction in the upward direction. We will be predicting the friction in the upward direction. And if you say in the third case, if mg sin theta is less than mv square by r beta cos theta, then what happens? Now this force has dominated, this is less, so we are predicting the friction in this direction. So let me draw the arrows for both. For this case, we have shown the friction in this way, and for this case, we have shown the arrow of the friction in this case. Am I right? So I have drawn these two different things, but on the same diagram, so that you can have the fundamental idea of it. It is very important. Am I right? So when does the friction is not acting? When both are equal. When does the friction is acting? If component of mg sin theta is greater than mv square by r, then friction is acting in the upward direction, which I have shown the red arrow. If mg sin theta is less than mv square by r beta, then mv square by r cos theta is acting in this direction. So we can say the friction is acting in this direction. Am I right? So according to that, these two conditions which you consider, if you consider these two conditions, you will be getting your answer. So I tell you, you just apply the method by your own and you will be getting this result. Am I right? Am I right? It is very, very simple. Done? Yes. So next point there comes with it. Now this is also a very good question. In an experiment, we are having the vernier caliper, and what we are saying, there are 29 divisions of the main scale, they exactly coincide with the 30 divisions of the vernier scale. And the smallest division which you are expecting on the main scale is half degree. So what is the least count? What is the least count? I tell you, least count is termed as one main scale division minus one vernier scale division. So here you can see it is given 29 main scale division are is equal to what? 30 vernier scale division. So what is the value of one vernier scale division in terms of MSD? It is 29 by 30 MSD. So you put the value of here, 1 MSD minus what? 29 by 30 MSD. So we are getting 1 by 30 main scale division. Now what is given to you for the main scale division? It is given as, what is the value of one main scale division given to you? It is given as half degree. It is given as what? Half degree. So there you can write 1 by 30 of half degree. It is like 1 by 2 degree. So what we are getting? 1 by 60 degree we are getting. And we know 1 degree is what? 1 degree, 60 minutes. So 1 by 60 degree is what? 1 minute. So we are getting our answer as A, as 1 minute. I think idea is very clear to everyone. Experiment we have performed. 29 divisions main scale are exactly equal to 30 divisions of vernier scale, and we are expecting what is the least count which we can measure. So least count definition is what? 1 main scale division minus 1 vernier scale division. 1 main scale division minus 29 by 30 main scale division, because 29 main scale division is equal to 30 vernier scale division. So 1 vernier scale division, 30 goes to denominator. So we are putting 1 vernier scale division value here. So we are getting 1 by 30 main scale division. So unit of main scale division is given to you half degree. So this becomes half degree. 1 by 60 degree is what? 1 minute. Okay? It is 1 minute better. Because if I draw like this, it is 1 minute. If I draw like to this, we are calling it as 1 second. I think idea is very clear. Done. See. Now just I discussed this question with you. A circular railway track, radius r, it is banked at an angle theta, so that the train is moving with a speed v, which can safely take the proper turn on the track. So student writes the formula, students write the formula tan theta is equal to what? Rg by v square. So why is this relation not correct? Now see here, Because we have written V square is equal to Rg tan theta. So what is tan theta? V square by Rg. What is tan theta? V square by Rg. So what student has done? He has written tan theta is equal to Rg by V square, because exact formula was V square is equal to what beta? Rg tan theta. Now, are the dimensions equal? Yes. It is dimensionless. Rg and V square, they are also what? Same dimensions. So taking the same ratio, it is getting what? Dimensionless only. And dimensionally correct. Now what is happening? Equality of dimensions does not guarantee the correctness of the relation. That is true now. You can see tan theta is dimensionless. Rg by V square is also what? Dimensionless. So it shows that the formula is dimensionally correct. But is it true that this correct formula is existing? Answer is no, because correct formula is V square is equal to Rg tan theta. So first condition is satisfied. Equality of dimensions does not guarantee the correctness. Am I right? What is said? Tan theta Rg by V square, which is wrong. V square by Rg is tan theta, which is correct. So dimensionally both are correct. But the thing is, the correct formula is this, but not that. So first option is not met. Second, dimensionally correct relation may not be numerically correct. We just proved V square Rg tan theta is a correct formula, but tan theta is Rg by V square is not a correct formula. The relation is dimensionally incorrect. No, the dimensionally this relation is correct. So answer we are predicting for this answer is what? It is the A option. Yes beta, it is also, no beta, it is not for class 9th. This session is for the NEET students, JEE NEET. For the NEET students, yes. I hope you have understood this, like enemies. You have understood this idea? Okay, see. Now, score dip number 12. Score dip number 12 says, it's also very important and very simple thing, beta. Listen this thing very carefully. See, he said, a lift is moving downwards with an acceleration A. Man in the lift was there, he dropped the coin or ball. The acceleration of the ball as observed by the man which is inside the lift and a man standing on the ground. What do you predict for it? Now it is very simple, beta. See, this is the lift and a man is standing inside and man is standing on the ground. Am I right? So, he has dropped some ball here. What he observed? This lift was moving with the acceleration A. So, when you consider A, observer, it is sitting, this is sitting in the non-inertial frame and the person who is on the ground is the inertial frame. Am I right? Am I right? So what do we write for it? Because for this person, this ball is having effective gravity G minus A. G minus A. Because this observer himself will experience some pseudo force in the downward direction because of the acceleration of the system. So its effective gravity is like what? Just wait, it is not going, I have shown gone up, but it was going down bit. It was showing that it was getting down. So acceleration is getting down. So if it is getting down, so its net acceleration will become what? G minus A. So if it was writing above, it should be G plus A. So it is getting down. So it is what? G minus yes, A. Am I right? So for this man who is observing this ball will feel that it is just falling down with an acceleration due to gravity, because this himself is on the ground which is at rest. So he will observe only the real force to be acting, and it is what? G. So your answer for this prediction is what? Because the lift was getting down with an acceleration A, so its effective acceleration become what beta? G minus A as the answer. Am I right? Am I right? So you can see the answer of it becomes G minus A, and what? The G. Lift is down. Yes, Manova, it was the lift which was getting down with an acceleration A. So its gravity become what beta? G minus A as the answer. and G for the person who was standing on the ground. G was the person for this who is standing on the ground. That was the point. So, next question. Next question says, am I audible? But am I audible? Say yes. Am I audible? Okay. Yes. Okay, beta. See now. A man is traveling at 10.8 km per hour in a topless car. Topless car means, the sunroof is there, am I right? And you have removed sunroof and you are seeing the sun directly, am I right? So what is happening in this case, that we are having a topless car on a rainy day and you are sitting in there and you are just placing your umbrella at some angle, am I right? At some angle. So you are you are moving in this direction and you are holding the umbrella at some angle. So this is the vertical direction, this is there, and this angle is what? 37 degree. 37 degrees. So what we are writing for it, see, if we draw a car, let me make you to sit here and you just hold this umbrella, am I right? You just hold this umbrella. What happens there? When you are holding this umbrella, this angle is 37 degree. He said it is 37 degree, am I right? With the vertical. Now, listen to this thing very carefully. This is moving with the car was moving with the VC. Am I right? And he hold the umbrella at an angle 37 degree. And he said in the question, the rain drops falling vertically down. Means rain is already not slanting, rain is already falling vertically down. So what do we say? Again, we have discussed the previous question. This was the rain. This was the car which was moving. Am I right? Option D, beta. Yes, beta. I have marked D option here also. Yes. And you have calculated, that's really matched our options. So car is there, beta. So car, you say this become minus BC and this also become what, beta? BC, and this become the resultant. And this angle is given to you as what? 37 degree. So this is becoming BC here, am I right? This is what? 90 degree. So tan 37 is VC by VR, and we are to write the value of VR, am I right? So tan 37 is equal to VC by VR. So what do we write? Tan 37 is equal to VC by VR. So what is the value of VR, beta? VC by tan 37. So what is basically, beta, tan 37? This is 37, this is 4, this is 3, this is 5. So what is tan 37, beta? It is like 3 by 4. And what we are writing for VC, it was given as, what was the VC given as? You can see 10.8 km per hour. So it is 10.8 into 5 by 18. It get cancelled, beta, getting what? 0.6 is equal to what? 3. So there you put the value. 3 by tan 37 is 3 by 4. So we are getting VR as what, beta? 4. So this is the answer. 4 is the option. Yes, beta, you said it very correctly. It is, yes, beta, it is option D only. So the question number 13 is over. Am I right? So I think you have understood these ideas also, and most importantly, very important for you, that when you are writing any question, draw the diagram, draw all the parameters which you know, and you should write all the parameters, means draw the diagrams, draw the arrows wherever it is required for a certain vector, take the specific and good way resolution and you will get the answer. And prior to that, don't forget to like, comment and share and enroll yourself for the NEET score exam, which is going to be happen. You know it very well when it is calculated. Now see, let's dip down to the option number 14 now. What is there? Smooth rod 1 kg is in equilibrium inside a hollow fixed sphere such that ACB, there it is, this is there. This point is C. This angle is 120 degree. Am I right? This angle is what? The 120 degree. So he says, find the normal reaction at the rod at the end A and B. So at the end A, beta, you will expect, at the end A, you will expect normal action in this direction, and at the end B, you will expect the normal action in this direction. Am I right? Let me draw there. So this is the normal action here. This is the normal action here. This angle is 120, so this is definitely 60. This angle is 90. This angle is 30. Same way, beta, 30, and normal action is here only. So what we can write? We can write here as what, beta? N sine 30. There also, beta, it is N sine 30. And the weight of this body is acting in the downward direction. So what do we write for it? 2n sine 30 is equal to the weight. What is the weight? 1 into 10. Am I right? So this becomes 2 and sine 30 is what? 1 by 2. So it's getting cancelled 10. So we are getting our normal action as what? The 10, where end A and end B will experience. I think idea is very clear. This was the question. So this option number comes out to be for us C. Yes. I think idea is very clear. Now, see this question. Two particles of equal mass m, they are lying on the x-axis, respectively as shown in the adjacent figure there. They are connected by a light string. Force F is applied at the origin along y-axis, and as a result masses are moving towards each other. So what is the acceleration of each mass? Assume the instantaneous position of masses minus x comma 0 and x comma 0. So we have to answer this question now. See, let me show in the next diagram. Let me consider it was there and it is here only, beta, and this has moved symmetrically here and this has moved up. Am I right? So there you can expect T. Let me draw it here only. This is F, this is there, this is there, this angle is theta, this angle is theta. So this is T, this is T. So what is the net answer here? It is 2T cos theta. Am I right? Because this has moved to there, so its coordinates become x minus x comma 0, and it has reached from there to there, so these coordinates become x comma 0. So what we are writing, beta? We are writing F is equal to what? 2T cos theta. We are writing F as what? 2T cos theta. So what we are writing for T, beta? We are writing F by 2 cos theta. Am I right? This is the first point. And if you see here, tension is also acting there, beta. So this, the tension is also acting on this block of mass M. So this was theta. So this become what, beta? T sin theta. So T sin theta is the force which is pulling this mass towards, they are pulling the T sin theta is the force with which the blocks are moving towards each other. So T sin theta will be a pulling force which is bringing this mass closer to this point so that they can come closer. So 2T sin theta must be equal to what, beta? Mass into acceleration. So question asked is, what is the acceleration? So what is the acceleration question is asked. So we can write T sin theta is equal to what, beta? MA. So what is the value of T you calculated? It is F by 2 cos theta into what, beta? Sin theta is equal to what? MA. So now you can write A. What is the value of A? F by 2m. Sin theta by cos theta is what, beta? Tan theta. Now you know what is tan theta? See, this is x, because you know I told you this is x, this was there, this angle was theta, this angle was theta, this was x, so this was A, length of the string was A, so this is A. So this becomes square root of A square minus x square. This was theta, this was what? 90. So what is tan theta? X by square root of what? A square minus x square as the result. I think idea is very clear to everyone. See, and there comes our option number B. This option comes, beta, B. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. Now, So this is a very good question. Kinetic energy is given as AS square. Now you should solve. I will give you this method how to solve this question. See, since it is said it is moving along a circle beta. So when it is moving along a circle, you just consider starting the journey from here, S0. When S is 0, kinetic energy is 0. So it is not having any, what you call the tangential velocity or acceleration. So when it has moved some distance S on the track, so it has attained some velocity, due to which it will be having some centripetal acceleration and also it will be having some tangential acceleration. So centripetal acceleration plus tangential acceleration square root will be the net acceleration. So what is the centripetal acceleration? It is nothing but like V square by R. It is nothing but what, beta? It is like what? V square by R. V square by R. And tangential acceleration, you know how to calculate. It is like V dV by ds. V dV by ds. So you may take the differentiation of that, and because K is a kinetic energy, so kinetic energy can be written as what? Half mv square is equal to what? As square. Now I advise you, this is 2as square by m, that is V square by R, you divide, so you will be getting the relevant result. So I am telling it to you. And what is AT? You have got the value of V square from here as 2as square by m. Take the differentiation of with respect to s. So what we will be getting? V 2V dV by ds is equal to what? 2a s square by m, not s square, but this is 2s. So you take the differentiation V dV by ds. Now put that stuff here, you will be getting this result. Okay? I think idea is very clear. Just taught you this thing in a good way. K is what? As square. K is a kinetic energy which is half mv square. Half mv square is given as what? As square. So we are writing AC V square by R. So V square by R become what? 2 AS square by M. That's it. Divided by R. Divide both things by R. So you will be putting that value and you will be getting some result like this. Am I right? So you should be doing that by your own. Okay? See. Next point. A body is moving down along the plane and the plane varies, whose mu is varying with a 0.5x. So what is the point where the body will have the maximum velocity? So I tell you one thing very simple. See, this is the inclined plane beta. This angle is what? The theta. This angle is what beta? Theta. Am I right? So this angle, if you say theta, so it was at rest earlier. So initial velocity was what? The 0. When it has moved and it is given the friction is there. Am I right? So when it has moved, it will stop somewhere because it was given that mu is 0.5x. So first I want to tell you, this question is something like SHM, simple harmonic motion, you may say, because at the extreme position its velocity is 0. If it stops itself on the plane itself, then its velocity is getting 0 also. So there comes a one point beta, there comes a one point where its velocity is maximum. When you say it is a maximum velocity, it means there is net acceleration is what? The 0. If you say net acceleration is 0, it means at this point the forces so acting will be equal and opposite. So if you are saying, so what will be the forces acting? One thing is like mg sin theta and is equal to what? If it has covered a distance x, am I right? If it has covered a distance of 0.5x, and what we can write it for, because as you move with the x, it goes on changing. So we can equate it with the friction value, am I right? And friction value is nothing but mu mg cos theta. Mu mg what? Cos theta, am I right? And what is the value of x to be determined? So we can write with it, mg get cancelled with the mg. So this becomes sin theta is equal to mu. Mu was what? 0.5x. So you can write half x into what? Cos theta. So sin theta by cos theta is what? Tan theta So 2 tan theta is equal to what beta? X. 2 tan theta is equal to what? X. Yes, yes beta, yes, yes, yes. That is there. So answer there comes, X is equal to 2 tan theta. That is your question number 17. Now, this also a very good question. Moment of inertia is said, am I right? So I tell you how to solve. Since it is a disk beta, and disk at the center is having some moment of inertia, you are aware of it is mr square by 2. So what is there? We are having annular disk whose radius is r, where it is cut out, and this outer radius is capital R, where we are expecting the mass. I tell you what to do. About this point, the moment of inertia is written as this value in this axis. This is a disk, so this is the axis. The moment of inertia is what? mr square by 2. So what do we write for it? Mr square by 2, when we are writing, what do we write for it? We will write the moment of inertia for the whole mass. Let me write in this terms of sigma. Sigma. So I am writing sigma into pi r square by 2 into r square minus sigma pi small r square into r square by 2. Why I have written this? Why I have written this? Because I have, first I opted the full disk, then I opted the removed part, and I have subtracted the moment of inertia of the removed part from there. And but the condition for this is sigma, which can be written as m by pi r square minus what beta? R square. So you replace this sigma value with this. So when you will be finding this result, you will be finding this result as what? M into r square plus small r square. So that is the answer. I think idea is very clear. Idea is very clear. So this was the question number 18 beta. We got that point. See, question number 19. 19 says, a boat crosses a river whose width is 200 meters. So let me draw this, and 200 meter width is given to me. So let me call it as the D as the width of the river in shortest time. So when you say the word shortest time in the concept of river beta, in the river boat problem, so it has to be perpendicular to the flow of river. Am I right? So it get drifted by distance x. And he said it is founding in a drift of 100 meter. So you are getting x as what beta? 100 meter. Am I right? So I think we can solve this question now. You call this angle as phi. And reaching that. So the time now taken is t. So from there to reaching there, the time is what? The t. If same boat is to cross along the shortest path, if same boat has to cross this along the shortest path, so what do we have predict in there? If the boat goes in this way, if the boat goes in this way, initially boat was going with respect to river like this, now the boat is going with respect to river like this. So it will be forming like that and reaching to this point. Am I right? So what I can write beta here for this case, I can write here as VBR, this as VR, this as angle phi again, because this angle should be phi again. So this angle will be VBR sin phi, and this must be equal to VR because we will be getting this result. Am I right? Idea is very clear. So he said, what is the time taken to cross the river? So answer is very simple. So time taken to cross the river. See, let me write here only T0, T. So we are expecting for this, let me write it as T is equal to T naught. Am I right? So let me draw on the next diagram. Reaching there, time is T naught. This angle is what? Phi. This is what? Velocity of boat with respect to river. So this is what beta? VBR cos phi. Am I right? It is VBR cos phi. So this is what? VBR sin phi, and this is what? The VR, they are what? Equal. And you see the value of tan phi, if you say you are getting a tan phi, what is the value of tan phi you are getting d as 200 and x as what? 100. So we are getting 100 by 200. So we are getting tan phi as what we did? 1 by 2. Am I right? I think idea is very clear. So now you can take the time to be taken from there to there. Time will be the distance to be covered. Am I right? The distance to be covered, which was the width by BBR cos phi. So there you put the values and you will be getting the answer, and that answer comes out to be D option. Okay? I think idea is very clear. So this was question number 19. So I have just given, because we have explained each and everything in it, am I right? So I should expect that you should be solving by your own. You have to put the values only. Very simple, am I right? So I got with the ideas, perpendicular, then moved in this direction and like that. Done. Now this is a very interesting question, like score tip 20. Force is given, work done we have to calculate, and the fact is the work done is 0 when this particle is moved. So now listen this thing very carefully, bete. So I want you should write this on very good point for you. Force as what? 2i cap plus what? 3j cap. It is given the work done is 0. Sorry, bete. Work done is not a vector quantity, no? Work done is not a vector quantity, hala? So work done is what? 0. So what do we write, bete? We write f dot dr as the integration, and that is nothing but it should be 0. So what is basically dr, beta? Dr is nothing but it is dx I cap plus dy j cap. Am I right? So when you are writing it in the vector format, what is f? What is given to you for f? 2 I cap plus 3 j cap dot dx I cap plus what? dy j cap is equal to I dot I is 1, j dot j is 1. So what we are getting? 2 dx plus what? 3 dy. So what should I do? Because it was given, it has moved along this line. So let me write the line equation 3y plus kx as 5, because we were to calculate k only. So take the differential. This becomes 3 dy plus k dx is equal to what, bete? 0. So we are writing 3 dy as what? Minus of k dx. Minus of what? K dx. Am I right? Now, my strong advice to you all, again, 3 dy is minus k dx, put that stuff here, and put that stuff is equal to here, and put that value equal to what, bete? 0. So you will be getting your final result. I think idea is very clear. 3 dy is minus k dx. So there you can replace this, either dy, you can replace minus k by 3, and then you will get the required result. I think idea is very clear. This was dip number 20. This was also a very good question. Now see, here in this question, we are having this as a tangent. Am I right? And question said, a bead was there where it stays at this point AB, and parabola y is equal to cx square. Upward parabola is given to you, and it is rotating with angular speed omega. So it is not getting down, he says. Neglect the friction everywhere. So what you will be expecting? The outward force, distance given as A, ma omega square. Am I right? And since it was placed in a vertical, am I right? In the shape of parabola. So we are expecting mg downward direction also. So what do we say? What do we say? That dy by dx we can write it as what? This 8 cx, and dy by dx is nothing but what? Tan theta. So as I just said, this was the bead was there only, so one force there, one force there. Am I right? No doubt this force was like m, what is the formula? M omega square A, that is outward force. This was nothing but it was, you remembered, if it was theta, this was mg sin theta, and mg sin theta and these components of m omega square A cos theta. So when you equate these two terms, you will be getting that result. I think idea is very clear. So when you write it, this become like A by G. So you can equate these values and you can find the value of what? Omega. Am I right? And that value of A means acceleration, which is omega square A. So you can put the value, you will get the result. I said this as the A as a acceleration. It is the A coordinate there. Am I right? So when you solve this question, it comes out to be 2 root 2 GC. Okay? See, here also, this was there, mg, this was m, omega square A, and I told you this is a right angle triangle, this is a parabola, this is a tangent we have drawn, this was mg, this was getting mg sin theta. So we are equating mg sin theta with this force, and there if you solve it is theta, this is m omega square A cos theta. So these two equations when you equate, because this is in equilibrium, so we can equate m omega square A cos theta is equal to what beta? Mg sin theta, right? So m get cancelled with the m. So what we are getting for omega square? What we are getting for omega square? We are getting omega square as g sin theta by cos theta as what? The tan theta by A. And what is tan theta basically? It is dy by dx. What is the value of y given to you? 4cx square. And what is dy by dx? What is dy by dx beta? It is 8cx. Now put the value here, you will be getting the final result for omega. Am I right? Yes. Yes beta. So this is also a very good question. Coefficient of restitution is given. What is the fraction of the kinetic energy lost in the collision? Am I right? So how to solve this question? Like this was the ball which was hitting, and after that beta at an angle 60 it has gone up with some angle phi. So when it hit it with a speed u, it left this after hitting this with the v. So we know the components of the velocity along the common tangent remains same, but along the common normal they change, and we apply coefficient of restitution also. So I will be giving you this formula very correctly. V E as relative velocity of separation, which is v cos phi, by relative velocity of approach, which is u cos 60. Am I right? So what is the value of E given to you? 1 by 2. So you may put the value here 1 by 2 as what? V cos phi by u cos 60. What is cos 60? It is 1 by 2. You may put the value. Am I right? And the best part is along common tangent, the velocities remain unchanged. So this is like beta v sin phi and u sin 60 also remains what? Unchanged. Idea is very clear. So from these two equations, you can solve this idea how to write. So what is the answer we are expecting for it? What is the answer we are expecting for it? Kinetic energy as final as what? Half mv square, and initial kinetic energy as what? Half m u square. So what is the fractional change? We are writing like this: half m v square minus half m u square by half m u square. So my advice, you have got the values of v and u in terms of it, put the stuff there, you will be getting that result, and when you will solve, the answer comes out to be 3d by 16 as the answer. I think idea is very clear. It's very simple. So this was there. This was a very amazing question. See what happens in this question now. A bead of mass is attached to one end of the spring. Natural length is r, but the spring is constant is given as this, square root of 3 plus 1 mg by r. And other end of the spring is attached to a point, and on smooth vertical. Now it is very important, vertical ring is given. So it means somewhere the gravity is also going to play some role. So radius r as shown in the figure. What is the normal action when just released? When it is just released, what is the normal action? So I tell you a very shortcut way what is in there. See, You mark a point beta here, this is R. You mark a point here, this is R. So, you know, this is R, this is R. So, this will be definitely 30 degree. So, this answer, how much it will be? It will be, this angle is 30, this angle is 30, this angle is there. It is R cos 60, R cos 60, R cos 60. This total angle is, sorry beta, 2 cos 30, R cos 30. So, what is the net, what is the length of the spring now? Length of the spring, 2R cos 30. What is the initial length of the spring? It was R, because it was given to you in the question. Natural length was R. Now, this was 30, this was 90, this was R, this is R cos 60, R cos 30, R cos 30. So, I am getting final length as at 2R cos 30, alright. So, this is the extension in the spring which we have seen, and this x is nothing but root 3 minus 1 into R. That is the extension. And now, finally the answer comes. This will be the spring force, which is nothing but Kx. This will be the vertical force, which will be mg. So, spring force and mg, they will constitute, because the bead is on the circular ring. So, this normal action, it will be expecting in this direction. Am I right? So, what do we write? The normal action will take the components in this direction. Am I right? So, you can see mg is acting in the vertical downward direction. Mg is acting in the vertical downward direction. This angle is what? You know, the 30. And you can see, if you draw it like this also, you can answer this question very quickly. How? See, this angle is 90, this is 30, this is 30, this total angle is 120, this is 90, this is also what? 30. If you draw it, this angle is also what? 30. So, for both of these, the angles are 30. So, what we are writing here? This has 30, this has 30. So, in this, what we can write? mg cos 30 plus kx cos 30. So, I can say x you know, k you know, root 3 plus 1, root 3 plus 1, it is root 3 plus 1, and x is what? Root 3 minus 1. Am I right? What is root 3 plus 1 into root 3 minus 1? A square minus b square. So, it is like a plus b into a plus b into a minus b. So, it is getting root 3 square 3 minus 1. So, we are getting 2 here. Now, I am leaving it to you for an exercise to solve this question, and that answer you can find by your own. Okay? Done? So, finally, 24th question is coming. It is also a very good question. He said, uniform rod of mass 4m. So, this was there, but if you are having a rod here, this is the mass m, and this is the axis. Am I right? Now, he said a very important thing. The mass m is moving with which makes an angle 45 degree with the rod's long axis. So, if I say, sir, I want to consider this as the axis. So, I may consider the particle was moving. So, this was the mass of the rod as 4m, length as L, and pivoted at the center. Mass m was moving so that it makes an angle 45 degree. So, let me draw like this as an angle 45 degree with the long axis of the rod, and it collide with one end of the rod and sticks to it. That is there. When it hit it, it gets stick to it. Am I right? So, the time it gets stick to it, it will rotate. The time it gets stick to it, it will what? Rotate. So, what happens in this concept? What happens in this concept? We can conserve the momentum. How to conserve the momentum? It was having the velocity v. We know particle is moving. So, we know for a particle we write L as what? R cross V, something like that. Am I right? Since length was what beta? L. So, this is what? L by 2. So, angle between them is what? 45 degree. So, I can write M, R as L by 2, and V cross V. Velocity is having this angle 45. So, I can write V I can write V. What is the value of V here for me? It is V sin 45. Sin 45 is what? 1 by 2. So, this is the initial angular momentum. This is the initial angular momentum, because the rod was at rest but particle was moving. The time it gets stick to it, what happens? the time it get hit to it, it gets stick to it, then rod will rotate, so the particle. So I'll be writing the moment of inertia for the system. System will be having moment of inertia because mass was 4m, length was L. So what is the moment of inertia of the rod about its center of mass? It is 1 by 12, mass as 4m into what? L square. Plus mass stick to one end of the rod whose mass was m but length was L by 2. So it will be ml square by 4. This is the moment of inertia of the system. So moment of inertia system becomes what? ml square by 3, ml square by 4. So we are getting ml square by 4, 3, 12, 7. 7 ml square by 12. So what final answer we are predicting for it, bete? We are predicting the final answer as m L by 2 V 1 by root 2. We are predicting, just writing here, bete, for you, m L by 2 V by root 2 is equal to, what is the final moment of inertia you got? 7 by 12 ml square. 7 by 12 ml square, and omega we are predicting. So you can see, bete, m get cancelled with m, L with the L, this become 6. So what we are getting for omega? We are getting 6 V by root 2 into 7 by L. So 6 can be written as root 2 multiplied root 2 divide. So this become 2 and 2 3s are 6. So we are getting 3 by 2. 3 by 7 root 2 V by L. That is the option for question number 24. So here comes the last question for the session. So I am giving you this as an exercise. You may take a screenshot of it. It is a very good question. I will brief you this question, but you should do by your own. This was the tower. We have projected a body. Since velocity at a height h, if it is h height, and you have projected a body, now it went down to the same height because you projected body goes up, then get down. So he said, if you are expecting that this point the velocity is v, so at this point this velocity become 3v. You can see velocity at a point h below the point of projection is 3 times the velocity h above the point. So it is very obvious when going up velocity is less, it is getting 3v. So I tell you, bete, this is h, this become 2h. So one formula you can use, 3v square is equal to v square plus what? Because it is getting down only, plus what? 2g into 2h as one value. Am I right? First. Second equation you use, because if you know the u here, then you can get the answer, because it is asked how much height this body has attained. How much height this body has attained. Okay. So this was the tower, and it was asked that moved up with the u somewhere here, its speed become v, whose height was h. It has moved up, then getting down. Here again, speed is v, getting down to the below height as h. Speed is again now 3v, because it is asked in the question, it is the 3 times. So what we are expecting, one equation we have used, v square is equal to u square plus 2a s. S is what? 2h. Predicting like that. This journey only. Am I right? 3v square, final velocity, initial velocity v square is equal to 2s. And distance covered between these 2 points is what? 2h. That's it. Now let's calculate u. U can be calculated by using v square is equal to u square minus what? 2gh. Am I right? So from this point you calculate the value of v square, how much you are getting. Put the value of v square here, you get the value of u square. Get the value of u square. Am I right? And since we have to calculate the height attained here, h, so this h height will be u square by 2g. Means if you get the value of u square here, I am just leaving it to you for exercise so that you should solve by your own. Am I right? Because we have written each and every equation with which this question can be solved, and the answer for this question is 5h by 4 when you will be getting this. Am I right? You can solve. Done? See, Now, again, finally we are concluding the session. So we are here for this core exam. Hopefully you have enjoyed PYQs. You must solve each and every question, and so that we can crack the exam. And like, comment and share. Don't forget to subscribe for the next upcoming session. Don't miss out. We'll be discussing NEET PYQs, and especially in those PYQs, I will be taking the questions which were asked in the NEET 2025. Don't forget to register for the exams which are happening on 28th of September and 12th of October in the respective centers. You can get the information. And score is all about, we discussed so many times, very important. So very important you to be familiar with. That is, it is a national level scholarship exam where all India persons, all India generals, they will be there for you to compete, to give you the competition. So don't forget to enroll in this exam. It is very, very important. And no doubt when you are taking the score, then you will be getting scholarship, you will be competing with the India's brightest students, and they have already enrolled. So don't miss this opportunity. And it is both online and offline mode is there, and exam dates and eligible classes are 3 to 11. So don't forget, must enroll yourself. Just saying you again and again, because in the next session we will be tackling the NEET PYQs. Now in the next, the dates are being reflected and the link is also given, and even if you see the description link, you will be finding the description link also. So you may take the screenshot of it. If you are just doing this session today only, you can see it. And don't forget, previous session 25 questions were very important with the concepts, and today's session also very important. Just make notes of it, and if you're finding any problem, you can send us any query, we will definitely answer. Like, comment and share is very, very important, and follow us on the Instagram, that what you call Telegram, and follow us on the Facebook also, and download our app. Don't forget. Done. Thanks for the today's session, and we'll be meeting you in the next session with the NEET PYQs. We'll be picking NEET 2025 questions, and also some relevant, something which are very good for us. We'll be competing with that too. So don't forget, just like, comment and share and discuss. Thank you. God bless you.